Hello everyone, it's Ariana and welcome back to my channel. It has been over a year. I'm pretty sure it's been over a year and I figured it's high time I made a new video. So I welcome you all back and I welcome myself back as well. I felt like it was a good time to tell this story, okay? Since it's been so long, first of all, I live in a whole other apartment now, so this probably looks a little bit different. Let me see if I even remember how to do this, like how to even film videos. But okay, I'm just gonna make this into a get ready with me. Let me start putting on my makeup while I talk. I've been using this Becca. I'm not going to be talking about all the products because that's not what this video is about. You see the title. I haven't talked about it yet. I haven't mentioned it yet, but you see the title. You know what this video is about. But yeah, I've been using the Becca First Light Priming Filter. So let's talk about Sephora. I had to quit. I had to leave. I had to quit Sephora. And while it was for COVID reasons, I feel like you should understand what the environment in Sephora was like prior to COVID. I know COVID has kind of changed. I mean, it's literally changed the world. It's changed the way that we do things. It's changed the way that our world is functioning right now. It's changed the way that I see a lot of people. I think I need to open this window. It's getting kind of dark. It's really changed the way that it's changed the way that I view the systems in which we live. And how much they really just don't care about human beings. That's kind of where I'm at right now as far as the world is concerned and how the world and specifically the United States have handled COVID. So prior to COVID, I really enjoyed working at Sephora. I really don't have a whole lot of negative things to say about the people that I work with. I know I see some of these other videos and people are always talking about there being drama and all of that, but I don't know, I just enjoyed the people that I worked with. I mean, I had no beef with anyone. You know, the only people to ever really annoy me or get on my nerves were the clients, honestly. Yes, I'm talking about y'all, the people that shop there. Y'all are annoying. And let me tell you something about the clients. Let me tell you something about yourselves, because y'all are the people that shop there. Not everyone is rude, but there are a lot of people who are just rude to service workers in general, not just people that work in retail, but just anyone that has a service role in society. I don't know what it is about these people, but there are some people that will just talk down to you as if you are less than them, as if I don't have a whole degree to my name. And I understand that it is, again, a service role. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. But these people really think that you live your life to serve them. I don't live my life to serve you. I do this job to serve my bills. That's really it. That's really all this is. This is a job for me. You don't have to disrespect me as a person because you don't like the job that I do, because you don't respect the job that I do for you. Even prior to COVID, the clients invade your space. They just invade your space, and I understand you wanting to come for help. But why are you putting your hands on me? Why are you touching me? This is a professional environment. And I personally am someone who is triggered by being touched by someone that I don't know. So people were constantly getting into my personal space, and I would try to back away and they would still get into my personal space, yada yada yada. There were people who acted like they were the only person in the store, you know, just being kind of entitled. And I get it. The clients don't always know the structure of the store. So they may not know that because I'm in skincare right now that I cannot leave my area to go help them with an eyeliner or a mascara or something like that. So I understand that, but just don't be rude. There are clients that when they don't get their way, they throw a hissy fit, an actual hissy fit, crying, screaming in the store, like they're children. This is the stuff that we had to deal with on a regular basis. This is not oh, some days the clients are really assholes and other days they're not. No, there's always assholes every day. Every day. And again, with the rules, we had rules that we had to follow. We also had rules that the clients were supposed to follow. And this, again, is before COVID. You know, we had a return policy. It was very not strict. We could return literally anything for a time. But then it got stricter and people didn't want to accustom themselves to the new rules. People would get mad when they couldn't get more than 3 samples. They didn't understand why they were not supposed to put their fingers, their dirty, disgusting fingers, into the tester bottles and things like that. Okay, and we would try to tell them, please do not put your fingers in the testers. Other people have to use these for samples. Like, we cannot, they're like, but I thought it's just a test. I thought it was a tester. It is a tester for you to take home samples. Do you want to take home a sample of something that somebody else has put their dirty fingers in? No, you don't. So stop putting your fingers in other people's samples, because we don't always catch it. I'm going to be honest. We do not always catch it when someone puts their fingers in a jar of something. So every time you ask for a sample at Sephora, there's a chance that somebody has put their fingers in that product and that you're now putting that on your face. So think about that for a second before you start asking for all these samples. And then the returns were a whole other ball game. Let me blend this down to my neck. What am I doing? I already know this is gonna get very dark because this is Fenty. I don't know why Fenty always turns reddish orange on me, but as soon as it dries, it just, like, the difference between my neck and my face is just ridiculous. And I know next time I'm just gonna get a lighter shade, but anyway, I didn't want to return it because I didn't want to be one of these people. So let me tell you, our return policy used to be 60 days. Before 60 days, you know, you could return for whatever. After 60 days, it was store credit. I could give store credit for like literally any amount of time. It didn't matter if it had been 7 years. I could still give in-store credit for that product. I normally did not. Because according to our laws, or not our laws, according to our rules, is at the discretion of the cashier. I was the cashier. I eventually became the cash wrap coordinator, so I was like in charge of all things at the register, right? So it was literally my job to tell people, no, I'm not gonna return that. Yes, I can return this. I just have to override it. Whatever, that was my job. So yes, I could do overrides for things, but I'm not gonna return a product that's over 6 months old. You've had all this time to decide whether or not you wanted it. So no, you're gonna keep that. And I'm also not gonna return a product that you have used almost half of or more than half of. Sometimes people try to return things that were literally empty. And I'm like, no, that is theft. And I can see that you've had it for 1.5 years. It's right here in your account. It doesn't lie. Just the amount of fraud that people tried to commit with those returns is ridiculous. But anyway, thankfully Sephora did decide to change the return policy so that after 30 days, before 30 days you can get your money back. After 30 days, it's in-store credit only. After 60 days, no returns. Before, I could override it and I could go in and like change whatever I needed to change. But after that, they changed it in the system to where it literally would not allow me to do an override after 60 days. Like, there was no way the Sephora was gonna let me return whatever product after 60 days. It just wasn't gonna happen. So all of that being said, I once had a lady come in after the policy had been changed to this new policy, trying to return an eye cream, like $30 eye cream. To put it in perspective, that's about average price. That's all she had on her receipt. She wanted to return it. It had been more than 60 days. Had it been more than 30 days and less than 60 days, I could have given it an override and put it back on her card or given her a gift card. After 60 days, the computer automatically denies the return. There's nothing I can do to override it. No manager, nobody can go into that computer and change the fact that it has been denied. So I let her know that I could not return her eye cream, and she started throwing a hissy fit at me. Literally a whole fit. She was like, well, but I don't like it. And I was like, but it's older than 60 days. I mean, I did it in my customer service voice. Like, I was nice about it. So she starts getting mad, and she's like basically telling me that she's not gonna leave until she gets her return. And so I was like, well, honey, I hope you get comfortable because it's not going to happen. And I'm like, I cannot do that. The system will not allow it. I cannot do it for you because the system will not allow it. I had to keep saying that over and over to her. She was like, you can do it. You just don't want to. Ma'am, I swear to God, if I could do it, I would do it just to get you the hell out of my store. But I cannot do it. So that's your eye cream. Have a nice day. I was like, I wish there was something I could do. She was like, there is something you can do. You could give me my money back. And I was like, and lose my job? Because my options were either to do it on her card or I would have to give her cash. The system was not going to allow me to give her her money back on her card, and the system wouldn't even allow me to give her cash. She wanted me to open up the drawer with my pen and just shell out some money for her. And I was like, no, I'm not about to lose my job for you. She was like, well, if you were a good client service person, I am a great client service person. You are a shitty client. Get the hell out of my store. I didn't say that, but I wanted to. I did say, I'm not gonna lose my job for you. And she got mad. And I was like, well, here's your eye cream. Have a wonderful day. Bye now. Okay, so now that you have an understanding of what it was like working at Sephora with all these crazy clients coming in all the time that don't want to follow the rules as it is, let's put COVID on top of all of that self-entitlement. Let's put these no-maskers and Trump supporters on top of all of that entitlement. Sounds like a great time, doesn't it? Of course not. It sounds horrible. And for the amount of money that I was making, it was not worth it. Okay? Okay. So let me tell you about COVID, because that's a whole other ball game. This mostly has to do with corporate Sephora. When things started shutting down back in March, people were already being sent home to work from home because they knew what was about to be happening. The mall stayed open, so we were still at work. All these people that were supposed to be staying at home, doing their jobs at home, we're now coming to the mall because they felt like, oh, we don't have anything to do. Let's go to the mall. No, you're supposed to be staying at home. That was literally the entire point. But you decided to come to the mall and put all of us in danger instead. Cool. Sephora waited weeks to close the store. I don't know why they thought that they could trust humans and trust people, but you can't trust people. They're all idiots. In the middle of March, they finally decided to shut down the store. All the stores across the country, right? They decided that they were going to keep paying us. Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. So they paid us our regular pay based on the average amount of times that we had worked or whatever. Like the average hours that we had gotten over the past 6 weeks were what we got paid while we were sitting at home doing nothing. And of course, at this time, we did not know when we were going to be going back to work. I think they originally said that we were going to be gone for like 2 or 3 weeks. I had a feeling that that was not going to be the case because I know, again, working in retail really teaches you that the public is stupid. The public is stupid because I just did not think that anyone was going to follow the rules, and I had a feeling it was just going to get worse and worse and worse. Look where we are now. But anyway, okay, so they're paying us. The time comes to where we're supposed to go back to work. Obviously, we cannot go back to work at that time. So at that point, everybody's playing it by ear. After those first couple weeks, Sephora lays off all of their part-time people, and I believe just about anybody that had not been there for more than a year. So if you had just gotten hired, you just got fired. And they were letting go of people that like really needed positions and really needed job stability and stuff like that. Like they let go. They did not care. And of course, when all of this first started, I was like, great, oh my gosh, like Sephora's still paying us. They're like keeping us at home. They care about us. They really want us to be safe and be healthy and succeed. Yeah, okay. Honestly, I did not think that they were going to open the stores back up anytime soon. I was like, oh, they care about us. They're going to keep the store closed to try to keep us all safe until this is over. So April rolls around, right? They tell us we're going to go back to work I think it was like April 23rd. And I'm thinking, oh no, this is not good. This is not good because I could tell that things were not getting better. You know, it was not getting any better. The cases kept going up and up and up and up. So I wrote a letter to Sephora. It was a very well written, very detailed letter. I was like, there's no way that we need to be opening up the stores. I gave them examples. I cited sources of examples from the last pandemic. What was it? The Spanish flu. During the Spanish flu, America did the exact same thing. They shut everything down for a little bit. Some people didn't want to listen. People complained. They opened everything back up as soon as cases started to drop just a little bit. And then it got exponentially worse because they opened things up far too soon. Far too soon. I let them know, you know, you're doing this too fast. Somebody forward this information to somebody who will care because you're putting all of us in danger. You're putting all of the employees and the people that are spending money in your store, you're putting everybody at risk of this novel virus that you don't know what it's going to do. If it could ravish your body. You could be totally fine, but you could also end up with permanent lung damage. You could die. You could accidentally pass it along to someone else who will be more vulnerable than you. Like, there's just so many unknowns about it that it was in no way safe. It was in no way safe to open the store back in April. It's not safe for the store to be open now in September. And it's because they opened up back in April. And all these other companies, it's not just Sephora. I blame the government and I blame capitalism. So after me sending this well thought out letter, they called me. HR called me with a response that was basically saying, well, we don't know when this is going to be over. So basically she was saying, we don't know when this is going to be over and we got to make money. So y'all better get back in there and work. And I didn't like that mentality. I didn't like that attitude. And I certainly didn't like that they were trying to center it around being resilient and being part of a team, and this is our family, we're doing this together. And I'm like, you're really romanticizing this right now. That is not how you feel. You're a company, you're trying to make money, and you're willing to put your employees at risk to do that. And that was not okay with me. If all these people leave your workforce, all these people get sick and die, who's gonna work for you? Who's gonna slave away for you and make your money? I'm like, y'all are working from home right now, okay? If you are still working at home, why are we not at home? Why are we not at home? Why do we have to be in the store? But it's too dangerous for you to be in the office, but it's not too dangerous for us to be in the store. That's what you're trying to tell me right now. So she's giving me all these protocols. They're like, oh, we're gonna have masks. We're gonna be taking everybody's temperature at the door, yada yada. Like, we're only gonna allow so many people in the store per client, per employee. They have like a very small ratio. They're like gatekeeping and all of this, like only so many people allowed in the store at a time, blah blah blah. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but guess who's at the register? Me. We're gonna have face shields for you, and everybody's gonna be 6 feet apart. They're not gonna be 6 feet apart from me because they have to hand me their cash. And I have to touch it with my hands. I have to be close to these people. Like, there's no way around it. I have to touch all these things that they were touching. And because you think that because you're taking their temperatures at the door, that's gonna prevent somebody from that's not preventing anybody from anything, okay? If you knew anything about science, if you actually listened to the people trying to tell you about this virus, you would understand that taking someone's temperature does not necessarily make them negative or positive. It just means that you took their temperature, and maybe they have a fever, maybe they don't, but they're still a carrier. You don't know, and you know the risks because you're still at home, like I just said, but you don't care about that for us. Okay, bet. So I took a leave of absence, and I decided, I'm gonna take some time, see if things get better. I wanna see how things go, because I don't wanna be anybody's guinea pig. I'm not trying to be up in the store just for me to get sick, and knowing that I don't have health insurance because you don't even pay me enough to be able to afford the health insurance. Do you see the problem? Like, are you seeing the same problems that I'm seeing here? Because I just want to know that I'm not crazy. They were like, we can only give you 2 weeks, but we're going to give you a month. Thanks for that. I still said I wasn't comfortable coming back to work. They were like, we'll take a little bit more time. So I took a little bit more time. Nothing had changed. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I can't believe I just did that. And this whole time that I had been home, I had been communicating with my coworkers. Even when the store was closed, we were all still talking to each other and all of that. But when everyone else went back to work and I stayed at home, I continued to communicate with them. 1, so I could keep up with them because I care about them. I actually care about them. But 2, so I could see what was going on in the store and decide whether or not I wanted to come back. And so I finally was like, it doesn't seem like I have a choice. I think I'm gonna have to come back to work because I gotta make money somehow. And, y'all are saying you have all these protocols. And even though I didn't really feel like they were gonna be 100% effective, I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe it'll be all right, whatever. So I'm talking to my coworkers and they're saying, girl, the clients are not following the rules. They're still touching everything, wanting to be all up in everything. And again, this is not safe for us, and it's not safe for anyone else shopping. Even if you're following the rules, one person not following the rules could be you ending up with COVID. Okay, so I need y'all to think about this before you're going into the stores. There's people that are not following the rules, and you could get sick because of their stupidity. There are people that are selfish out there that don't care about this virus. We've seen that already. So there are going to be people that just are not following precautions. So all my coworkers are telling me, girl, do not come back here because the clients aren't following the rules. Nobody seems to care about anything that's going on. They're just acting like it's regular times. And it is not regular times. The only thing I could think was, oh my gosh, I knew that this was going to happen. This is everything I predicted. The cases still keep getting worse because people continue to encourage themselves and others to gather. Opening stores means encouraging people to gather, okay? I don't care what you think. That's what it is. Oh, I kind of like that color. Oh, it has a shift. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, this is from the Norvina Cherry palette, the little mini one. I think this is on sale right now for like $14 or something. Oh my gosh, it is. I love that color. Okay, first of all, I'm amazing. I think that looks so cute. Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting to like that glitter so much. Okay, so anyway, even after all of my coworkers telling me, Ariana, don't come back. Don't come back. Please do not come back. I was like, y'all, I need to work. I need to work, you know what I mean? So I went ahead and I was like, okay, go ahead and put me back on the schedule. Like, I'm gonna have to come back. I just want to keep my job at this point. Like, I just want to keep my position, keep my pay rate, and all of that. Like, I want all of those things I want to be secure. And that's the only reason I'm even considering this at this point. And then, of course, as soon as I sent that email, I got word from one of my coworkers that there was an outbreak at the store. And let me tell you how they decided to handle it. And again, I'm not blaming the people specifically, I'm not blaming the employees of this specific store that I worked at. These are the protocols set in place by corporate Sephora, to my understanding. So this is what they decided was a good idea. They sent the 2 people that got tested positive. They sent them home, which, okay, great, thanks. But what are you doing for them? Because they took all of our PTO. So are you giving them more PTO? Are you still paying them? Because it's not like they have a choice to be out of work. So what are you doing with them? I don't know. I never even really got those answers. And second of all, what are you doing with all the other employees that got exposed just because they haven't tested positive yet? They're waiting for their results and you're still making them come back to work? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? And you're only shutting the store down for 1 day? We all know that the resting period for this virus is minimum of 2 weeks. Or a maximum of 2 weeks. It could take up to 2 weeks for symptoms to start to arise. So you've tested all these people, you close the store down for 1 day, and then you expect all these people that have just been exposed and been close to another person that was exposed and tested positive, you want all them to come back to work with the public. Tell me how that's safe. That doesn't make any sense. You don't close, they need to be closed for 2 weeks. They get an exposure, they get a breakout, closed for 2 weeks. Everybody go home. That's what it should have been. But no, they don't care about that. They don't care about safety. They don't care about taking precaution or like having any real protocols. Just something to make you feel better. That's all it really was. They just want their money. That's all it comes down to. And am I surprised? No. Am I disappointed? Yeah. Because it really seemed in the beginning of all this, it seemed like Sephora was a place that I could be proud to say that I worked at. But now I don't really feel that way. I loved working at Sephora. I really enjoyed it, despite all of the negatives. I love makeup, I love skincare, I love beauty. I love making people feel good about something that they've purchased. I love helping somebody find something that they're gonna really love and enjoy. Like, I genuinely enjoy doing those things. So I'm hurt that this virus snatched so many things away from me and all of us. I'm upset that this virus has really shown America for what it is, that it truly is a corporation, and corporations are evil. Why would you want this country to run like a business? Businesses don't care about you, they care about money. So I'm really just trying to figure out my life right now, just trying to figure out what I want to do next. I'm trying so hard not to feel guilty about making the decision that was best for me. The best case scenario is I would have gone back to work and been annoyed by the situation, but not gotten sick. Everything would have been fine, could have been making money. That is best case scenario. Middle of the road scenario is I go back to work, I take all the precautions, but still get sick. But nothing bad happens, like I recover, everything's fine, I go back to normal. That's like middle of the road expectations, right? That's what you hope that the worst case scenario would be. But let me explain to you what the worst case scenario would actually be. I go back to work, I take all the precautions because that's what I do. I get sick, my body can't handle COVID. Let's just say, because we don't know. You don't know how your body's gonna react. So I end up in the hospital. I don't have health insurance. So now I'm probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt because who knows how long I'm going to be in the hospital. I don't know. I haven't recovered yet. Maybe I have to be put on a ventilator and maybe I don't live. Maybe I die. For what? For Sephora? So I can sell makeup? so that you can come into the store so I can help you find an eyeshadow to wear to a wedding that you shouldn't be going to. None of those things are worth risking my life for. And considering the trade-off, you know, like, you don't even pay me enough to be able to take care of myself should the worst case scenario happen. There's no such thing as a disposable person. We're all worth something. You might think that just because somebody works retail or whatever, that they are less worthy of safety and less worthy of respect. And I could tell that a lot of people felt that way even before COVID, but that's simply not true. We all deserve respect. We all deserve safety. We all deserve to have our needs met. And some people say, well, it's a choice. It's a choice to work at Sephora. I guess, maybe for some people, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to quit, to have the opportunity to leave and say, you know what, I think I'm gonna search for something better for myself. Not everybody has that same opportunity. So no, it's not a choice. And yeah, this video is negative. This is a negative situation. There's nothing positive coming out of COVID. And then those of us who are still like inside trying, you still got people out here who have the opportunity to stay at home and won't. Let's get on board, folks. This is my final look, okay? Get into it. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me in this video. But I guess to end this on a somewhat positive note, I will miss being at Sephora pre-COVID. I will miss my discount. But none of those things are worth my safety or my sanity. And I want everyone else to get that message too. Like, whatever it is that you're going through, is it worth your sanity? And is it worth your health and safety? You know, just do what's best for you. These companies don't care about you. You don't owe them anything. Don't give them a 2 weeks notice. Just dip. Just get out. Just leave. But okay. How do I close this out? Like, how do I even close out something so heavy? Everyone just stay positive. Everyone stay positive. We really are in this together as a humanity, because the entire world is going through this exact same thing. For some people, it's a lot worse. For some people, they don't even see it. They don't even know what's going on, you know? We're gonna get out of this. We will eventually overcome this. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. And I guess I will see you next time. I will miss my coworkers, and I will miss getting free things. I love getting free things. Oh my gosh. Why? Because people continue to. I think I look good.